In this video, we will solve a problem about a ball that was kicked from the ground into the air. The distance in feet from the ground can be written by the formula. So this is the distance of the ball from the ground, above the ground. And this is the formula that we will have to use. The question that we need to answer is, after how many seconds will the ball be 2 feet above the ground? This line shows 2 feet above the ground, and we see that it happens twice when the ball was flying up, and second time happened when the ball was fallen down. So 2 feet above the ground, 2 feet is our h. So we have to substitute 2 for h into this equation. Now we need to solve this equation. We see that we have a quadratic equation because we have t to the second power. And to solve the quadratic equation, we have to use the quadratic formula. X equal to negative b plus minus square root b to the second power minus 4 a c and all this over 2a. Before we can use the quadratic formula, we have to have 0 on one side. And right now we have 2. So we have to move 2 to the other side. We have 0 equal to negative 16 t to the second power plus 224 t minus 2. Now we can use a quadratic formula. And first of all, we will write the coefficient down. A is negative 16. B is 224. And C is equal to negative 2. Let's calculate X. So negative b will be negative 224 plus minus square root. My b is 224 to the second power minus 4 times negative 16 and times negative 2. All this over 2 times negative 16. Let's simplify a little bit. So negative 224 will stay, plus minus, and I will calculate the number under the radical. 224 to the second power minus 4 times negative 16 and times negative 2. And I got 50,048. 2 times negative 16 is negative 32. Okay, now we have to calculate x value. It will be, and this is a way how it's a good way to type it on your calculator. Negative 224. First of all, we will say plus square root of 50,048 divided by negative 32. Negative 224 plus square root of 50,048. Be careful here, you have to press this button to get under the radical, close the parentheses, divide by -32, and we will round to 3 decimal places, so it will be 0.009 seconds. We find t, this t, right here. This happens when after 0.09 seconds. And we will find the second solution. x2 equal to -224 minus square root of 50,048 divided by -32. Parenthesis, -224 minus square root of 50,048. Again, I have to go out of the radical, close the parenthesis, divide by -32, and my answer is 13.991 seconds. So the second time, the ball will be above the ground, 2 feet above the ground after 13.991 seconds. Let's review this problem from beginning to the end. The ball has a trajectory that is a parabola. The formula of this parabola is given to us, and we need to find time when the ball is 2 feet above the ground. It means we have to take 2 and substitute for h into this equation and find t. Because this equation is a quadratic equation, we need to use the quadratic formula that we have to memorize. The problem is that we have 2 on one side and we have to have 0. In this case, we subtract 2 from both sides and we got the quadratic equation. It's a good idea to write the coefficients down before you use the quadratic formula, and use the quadratic formula carefully.